called Allah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakodash. That's who this word England calls God in Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. We'll give double honors to the elders, apostles across the four corners of the earth who rule well, teach well, raising up the tabernacles of David, seeking out the elect in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And predominantly shout out to the elders across four corners of the earth who rule well and teach well, Salakian. And predominantly the ones at the home of truth. And we know where that home of truth lies, at the home of GMS. Starting with Apostle Tahar on down. But shalom to the hopeful elect. And shalom to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives that are waking up to their heritage, coming back to the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, coming back to this book, the scriptures in these last days, man. Okay, and a big shout out to the elder in the Israel camp, Brother Kazak, whom I teach under. It's gonna be a little quick hit, man. You know, my mother, she sends me scriptures, you know, throughout the week sometimes, and the scripture she sent me today, on the 16th, was 2 Corinthians 4:17, man, and it sometimes the scriptures that she send be a help, man, you know, it be comfort, you know, and I feel like with her being the only one in my family that kind of understands this truth, just a little bit, the Lord gave her a teeny bit of understanding, you know, through me. I feel like sometimes he works through her, man. He sends her scriptures to send me, you know, because I definitely needed this comfort, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and read into the scriptures and get into the point and do a little commentary and make it quick. I'm not gonna, you know, be long-winded. But this is 2 Corinthians 4:17. It says, for our light affliction. No, I'm gonna start at verse 16. Let me see. No, I can start at. Let me start at. I'm gonna just get to the point. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Okay, and you know that light affliction goes into the sufferings and the trials and tribulations that the true worshipers, you know, in these last days, which are the prophets and you know, the remnant, the 1/3, but predominantly the prophets. The light affliction is what? It's the fire, you know. It's the trials and tribulations, the sufferings that we'll have to go through in this time, man. You know, and this is a reminder in Corinthians that, you know, this light affliction, this light trial and tribulation, this light chastisement, you know, this light affliction is but for a moment. Why? Because the place that we live in now, man, the land that we're in our captivity, America, aka Babylon, according to the scriptures, it's going to be destroyed. Okay, but we have to suffer here, you know, on this side, you know, because what we've become followers of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. We've made ourselves living sacrifices. Okay, you know, we're doing our due diligence to stand against evildoers and preach in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the true living names. Okay, the true names of the true living powers, man. Okay, with Yahweh being the Father and Yahweh Shai being the Messiah, man. All right. It says that our light affliction upon us doing this reasonable sacrifice, you know, it's only but for a moment. So yeah, man, we may moan and groan and sigh, you know, due to the things that the Lord may put in our path for us to overcome, you know, for him to build us up unto that special day, you know, when he returns, you know, so that we might be found worthy. Okay, that light affliction, it said, is but for a moment. It worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Why? Because these trials and tribulations that we go through, you know, it's gonna reshape and rewire our brains, man. You know, our minds. Okay, to the point where we walk circumspect and follow the Lord and follow the scriptures to the best of our ability. No, we're not gonna be perfect, but we strive to be perfect. Okay, but this light affliction can get us down, man. You know, it could get us into a depressed state. It could get us, it cause us to fall short, cause us to lose sight of the mission. You know, it could cause us to deplete, you know, spiritually if you allow, demons to get you in that depressed state or the state or a lazy spirit or, anything that doesn't profit us in the spirit, man. You know, the scriptures say that this worketh for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of glory, because it's gonna make us into basically a little mini me Yahweh Shai's, man. You know, the 144,000 is working and striving, you know, and laboring to become a part of the elect, you know. But we have to go through trials and tribulations. And we can't always lose sight of the mission, man. You know. And sometimes we do, because this world is easy to get caught up in this world with bills, family, your women, you know, your woman, your wife, whatever, your kids, children. You know, you might be spending too much time with the family. You might be spending too much time moping about things you can't change. You know, the Lord might be taking you through something and taking something away from you, you know, that you can't control. And he might be vexing your mind, you know. But we can't look at the things that are here, because the things that are here are really they're not set in stone, man. They already have a end goal, man, that we as men don't know. We don't know, you know, the things that, you know, we see that we want to keep, or the things that we have gotten ourselves entangled in and worried about, and, you know, the things that have took our focus off of, you know, the whole point of this truth. You know, these things we can't dwell on them too long, man. You know, why? Because the scripture says, verse 18, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at things which are not seen. Okay, for the things which are seen are temporal, meaning temporary, man. You know, so your wife is temporary, your kids are temporary, this job is temporary, that car is temporary. You know, we have to be humble enough to understand that the Lord is going to take things from us, you know. But the scriptures say that, you know, through this affliction, you know, it worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, right? Knowing that the Lord is going to take things from us to reshape and rewire our minds, you know, in the spirit, you know, take us through experiences. And when we come out of these experiences, how we go through them or how we get out of them, you know, it gains wisdom in it. You know, we gain wisdom in that sense. Okay, but you also have to understand that have to beat it into your brain that, hey, man, this place is not our rest, man. Okay, because it says, but the things which are not seen are eternal, right? Like I say, you may not what I said, no, Salaki. Like I said, the things which are not seen are eternal, but the things which are seen are temporal, you know, meaning temporary. Like I was saying, everything is temporary in this life. This life is about to be, this world is about to be destroyed, man. Okay, right? Babylon the Great is about to be destroyed. This is not our rest, man. So we can't focus on the things that are temporal to us, you know. Like I said, everything around us is temporary, man. This job, our homes, our women, our kids, everything is temporary. You know, these things don't last forever, especially through growth. You know, how can a man go through afflictions and trials and tribulations and be tested if he has everything that he needs at hand that he can see, you know? But the spiritual things are the things that we're supposed to be praying towards, man. You know, like patience, more faith, you know, more discipline, you know, these type of things, man. All right, because like I said, the scriptures say that this is not our place of rest, so we can't get caught up in this life, man. All right, let me go to Micah 2:10. Micah 2, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted." Okay? So when you have these scriptures in mind, it reminds you, you know, quit stressing over things that are temporary, man. You know? I'm teaching myself that. I'm learning that too as well, man. Things that are temporary, the Lord is showing me. He's teaching me by taking things from me, you know, that I don't necessarily want taken from me. But it's not upon me, man. It's upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right? And then when you read the scriptures, you get clarity, man. Scriptures give you clarity of things. Why? It gives you understanding that whatever the flesh may be warring about, the spirit understands the end game of it. Okay? It said it shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. Why? This place is polluted. You know? America's a melting pot. You can come to America. You can come here and praise any God you want. You know, you can come here and change your gender. You can come here and have sex with animals. You know, you can come here and do all these type of things here. This place is polluted, you know? But the point is we can't get complacent here and think this is our rest, man. All right? We can't get caught up. What's that scripture? In the affairs of this life. So like entangled, I think it's in Timothy. Entangled. Peter, no, let's see. Hold on. What? Let me see. Affairs of this life. 2 Timothy 2 and 4. You know? I said this place is not our rest. The Lord has a much more bigger task for us, man. You know? And this is why the prophets wrote these type of things and these type of scriptures for us, man, for comfort. You know, like I said, like I told you in the beginning, my mother had sent me, you know, that scripture, and I feel like it was just, you know, for my comfort. You know, for me to stop being weary in the mind and stop worrying about shit that don't matter, that's temporary, man. You know, this is 2 Timothy 2 and 4. It says, I'm going to start at verse 3. Okay? No, I'm going to start from the top, actually. I'm going to read all the way to 4. It says, Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahweh Shai, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai. Let's go see what that hardness means. 2 Timothy 2 and 4. Let's get the blue letter for hardness. Endure hardness. Matter of fact, let's get it in the NLT since it's already right there. It says 2 Timothy 2 and 3 in the NLT. It says, endure suffering along with me as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai. See? So to endure hardness is what? To endure sufferings. And one way we endure sufferings is understanding that our light afflictions are sufferings, you know? But they're only for a moment, man. It says, verse 4, no man that warreth, in the KJV, on to the left side, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. You see? And then in the NLT, it says, soldiers don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life, for then they cannot please the officer who enlisted them. And who enlisted us? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai. He has called us to make our calling sure, man. You know? Like the scriptures say, many are called, but few are chosen. Well, we're trying to be chosen, man. We're called and we're trying to be chosen, man. All right? He's enlisted us to be, to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, man. All right? So we can't get caught up in in the affairs of this life, man. In the affairs of this life, like I was saying, it can go a plethora of ways, man. It could be your family, it could be your bills, your car, it could be that job that you like so much, that pays so much money, you know. It could be a plethora of things that are carnal, man, and not spiritual, man. Things of the world, right? And not things that benefit forward and us closer to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai as the days grow evil, okay? You know? And brothers have to remind themselves of that, and they got to remind themselves that with these type of scriptures, man. The scriptures are here for our comfort, you know, and to give us more faith and hope and to teach us, man. What does the scripture say? What does it say in Romans chapter 15? Romans. It's like it. 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience, and we know that word patience means what? Sufferings. Okay? So through sufferings and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. You see? All right? Just as I was saying, you know? So we have to always resort back to the scriptures when we get weary or we fall short or we get vexed in the mind, because we're going to be vexed. You know? You're going to be vexed, man. You're going to be vexed, right? But we have the scriptures for comfort and hope, all right? And that's all I pretty much had on that, man, through the Spirit. Until next time, shalom.